Gauguin's Impressionists, masterpieces from the Ordrupgaard collection, presents the works in the collection of Wilhelm and Henny Hansen, Impressionist masterpieces which they collected in the early 20th century. Wilhelm and Henny Hansen collected works by Monet, Sisley, Pissarro, Renoir, but they also collected works by their precursors like Corot and Courbet, as well as masterpieces by Gauguin. Wilhelm Hansen was one of the most successful businessmen in Denmark in the early 20th century. He and his wife Henny first started collecting Danish art, but Wilhelm discovered French Impressionism when he traveled to Paris for work, and in 1916 he decided to start buying and building a collection of French Impressionist art. He had a great eye for quality, and he picked some extraordinary works. A few of the highlights in the exhibition are, for example, Renoir's sketch for Bal de Moulin de la Galette, which was his most ambitious work of the 1870s. Another highlight is Courbet's scene of deer hunting. And there's also Monet's Waterloo Bridge, which he painted in 1903 from his room at the Savoy. Cézanne's Bathers is one of my favorite works in this exhibition because I love the colors. You can really see Cézanne working out the poses of the figures and thinking about structure and form in this frieze-like painting. They exhibited their collection in their house near Copenhagen, and the house was called Ordrupgaard. And once a week they opened their house to the public to show their collection. So really excitingly, we have 3 works by Berthe Morisot and Eva González. It's really interesting that Wilhelm Hansen collected those works by women impressionists because at the time, perhaps they weren't as well known as the male counterparts. One of my favorite paintings in this exhibition is Gauguin's portrait of Jeanne Goupil. I think it's a really arresting and mesmerizing portrait, particularly because of the contrast between the bright, vivid background and the brown dress and pale face of the little girl. In the exhibition, Gauguin has an important place because there are 8 works by him which the Hansens collected. And that reflects Gauguin's importance as an artist in the early 20th century when the Hansens were collecting. The works in the exhibition are interesting because they span his career from Brittany to the south of France, where he painted with Van Gogh, to Polynesia, where he ended his life. Gauguin is a problematic figure by today's standards, and that's because when he went to Polynesia at the end of his life, he exploited his position as a male European in a French Pacific colony. There he had sexual relations with young girls, and he probably didn't tell them that he was already married to his wife Mitte, who had stayed in Denmark with their 5 children. And that would have been problematic in Polynesia at the time. In his paintings, Gauguin also depicts his colonial fantasy of the exotic and perpetuated Western myths about the Pacific. Nearly half of the works in this exhibition have never been exhibited in the UK before, so it's really exciting to be able to show them.